What is going on, everybody? It's Jordan Cameron back with another video. We got an exciting update today, guys, as we continue to follow our blueprint and our thesis of the biggest blow off top in crypto history, followed by the biggest bust in crypto history. So if you enjoyed today's video, make sure you smack the like button, subscribe to the channel. We got a lot to talk about today, so let's not waste any time. So you guys can see what is Bitcoin doing, guys, and Bitcoin continues to do Bitcoin things, right? Is Bitcoin held the 50 moving average bands? You guys can see Bitcoin right now is pushing 97,000, getting awfully close back to 100K. And now, I mean, we're only talking, from the current level, Bitcoin only about 12% away from making a new all-time high, just like that. And if you go back, just at the beginning of April, right? We're talking about a month ago, Bitcoin was at 74,000. Everyone talked about the end of the world. Tariffs were going to kill crypto. Tariffs were going to kill the markets. And here we go, Bitcoin only 12% away from making a new all-time high. So that's how things can change. And, as we continue to see Bitcoin continue to go up and as we continue to see more profits in our pockets, we have a lot more to discuss here, guys. So, for everyone who's new to the channel, we continue to discuss down here as long as Bitcoin held the 50 moving average band right over here, the 50 EMA and the 50 SMA, we were going to continue to be bulls, and we were going to continue to, basically look for simply Bitcoin to come up and make a new high, right? Because every single time we saw Bitcoin come back to the 50 moving average bands, we then saw Bitcoin go up and make a new high, right? Back over here in 2024 and 2023, back to those 50 moving average bands, we had Bitcoin come back up and make new highs each one of those times. And as you can see right now, Bitcoin 97,000, pushing up into new highs. And, a couple of reasons of why we think this, right? It's just to kind of go over our thesis again, right? We're looking at global liquidity just continuing to skyrocket to the upside, and us basically knowing that Bitcoin typically follows global liquidity with a 2 to 3 month lag. And we're continuing to see Bitcoin follow global liquidity again, as everyone sort of wrote it off and everyone's saying that it's not going to work again. Here we go, Bitcoin bottoming the same time as global liquidity just 3 months later, and now moving up with global liquidity simply 2 to 3 months later. And it's not only global liquidity, guys, just to give a quick recap of our thesis, we're also expecting, right, as you guys know, why we're expecting the biggest blow off top in crypto history, where everyone, including your grandma, will say that crypto will change the world. Crypto is the next greatest thing since sliced bread. Up to that 10 trillion market cap, where literally everyone will be convinced that crypto will never go down again. Why we believe that's going to happen is not only Bitcoin following global liquidity to the upside, but also our stablecoin dominance chart. And we continue to discuss when stablecoin dominance came back up to this region in March and April, we're continuously making videos saying that how that's been resistance almost every single year in the past, 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024. And each time from those points, you did see pretty good decreases in stablecoin dominance. So we know that stablecoin dominance and the total market cap chart are inversely correlated, where if we're expecting stablecoin dominance to stay in this range and just simply continue back down to the bottom of the range here, well, then we would expect total market cap to make another new push to highs. And that's simply what we're seeing here, right? We're seeing stablecoin dominance come down and come back down to the bottom of the range. And I'm expecting it to come all the way back down to the bottom of the range, forming this giant Wyckoff accumulation on stablecoin market cap, which is going to cause the biggest blow off top here for the total cryptocurrency market cap up to that 10 trillion 4236 Fibonacci level, the same Fibonacci level that we went to in 2021 before we see the dot-com bubble 2.0, the crypto bubble 2.0, and a lot of people getting very financially hurt by that massive bubble that I think is going to ensue, at the end of sort of the second half of 2025 into 2026. So we have our thesis, guys. Our thesis is playing out, right? Our thesis started with, okay, we're seeing global liquidity go up, so we're going to naturally expect Bitcoin to follow global liquidity. And we said, okay, right here, we saw stablecoin dominance break this trend line. We knew as soon as stablecoin dominance broke that trend line, that was our short-term trigger. Boom. We got the breakdown, and that's exactly when Bitcoin started to fly these last 4 weeks. Now, I bet what a lot of people are thinking right now is, excuse me, I got a frog in my throat. Sorry about that. A lot of people are thinking right now, well, I mean, this is great. Bitcoin's going up, right? But what about the altcoins? Now, point number one, Bitcoin should always be your biggest holding, guys. It is the driver of the crypto market. Bitcoin is daddy. It should be your biggest holding. But we're going to discuss right now, I am expecting Bitcoin to come up into these mid 100Ks, 130, 140, 150K. I am expecting Bitcoin to go up. Bitcoin was a great buy down here in 75K, 80K at the 50 moving average band again, okay? But what about the altcoins, right? When will altcoins really start to move? And I think what we can do here for everyone that's wondering, right, though we are expecting Bitcoin to come up and make new highs, right, what we're really expecting is if total market cap is going to get this massive blow off top, what I'm expecting is majority of that is going to be the altcoin market, as it is at the end of every single cycle, right? 2021, right? Everyone wrote off altcoins after the COVID drop. And then we saw the massive blow off top in 2021. 2017, altcoin just came out. We saw a massive blow off top for the last 6 or 7 months of 2017. So what I'm expecting is here over the last 6 or so months of this bull market, we're going to see the altcoin market go absolutely nuts. Now, when could we expect that to start? Because I don't think it has started yet. Right? We've seen some early movers, but when will the altcoin market start to run with Bitcoin? Okay. Now I'm expecting Bitcoin to continue to lead here on this move up and continue to probably suck some life out of the altcoins here in the short term, right? Why do we expect that? Well, first of all, before we get into our bigger picture look, right, just on the short-term chart, if we look at total 3 and when total 3 started to move up, the last 2 breakouts, right? So this major impulse on total 3 and this major impulse on total 3, which total 3 is basically the altcoin market minus Bitcoin and Ethereum. When did we start seeing those impulses? Well, right here, you guys can see we had this major impulse start right here on total 3 on that week of November 4th. Okay, this impulse right here, the week of November 4th. If we look at where Bitcoin was on that week of November 4th, Bitcoin was coming up and actually pushing into new highs. Okay, so what we saw was you didn't really see altcoins start to really impulse. They kind of just were shifting sideways while Bitcoin was moving up. You didn't really start to see altcoins move up until Bitcoin got close to its previous high and actually started to see a breakout, right? So Bitcoin came up right here on this November 4th weekly candle. This candle right here is when altcoins started to really move. That's when you started to see XRP, Cardano, HBAR, CRV, Chainlink all pull 5 to 10x's. Okay, was when Bitcoin got close to the highs. Now, let's go look at the previous consolidation before that. So this impulse right here on total 3, when did that really start? Well, that really started on, you guys can see this weekly candle down here was October 16th of 2023. Okay, if you look at where Bitcoin was on the week of October 16, 2023, well, it was kind of the same thing, right? Bitcoin actually got this massive weekly candle and was pushing near the highs of the range, right? So big weekly candle up towards the high of the range. That's when you started to see total 3 really start to impulse up, right? So we have 2 times in a row where we really didn't see altcoins run until Bitcoin had that weekly candle that went up and got close to the previous highs. Okay, so if we kind of look at where we are right now, right, we've seen this pretty nice impulse up on Bitcoin up to 97K, but we have not reached towards the top of the range yet. My guess is Bitcoin for the remainder of this, 10 to 12% range will continue to rip higher and altcoins will kind of continue to bleed against Bitcoin is my guess here in the short term. But when we do see Bitcoin break into new highs, just like we did on this impulse and just like we did on this impulse, that's when you're going to start to see total 3 start to rip up towards our 2618 and 3618 targets of 2.5 trillion and 3.35 trillion. And I do believe that this move on the altcoin market is really what's going to be the driver of total market cap getting up to that 4236 Fibonacci at that 10 trillion point. And really is what going to make everyone and retail, I hate to use the word retail because we are retail here watching this video, but what I mean by, retail is more so people that really aren't in deep into the crypto market, right? You sort of think of your uncles and your grandmas and people who don't really pay attention to financial things starting to jump into this market up here at the 4236 Fibonacci. That it's really going to be the altcoin market that gets people sucked in, right? Bitcoin is great, right? I love Bitcoin. Bitcoin's my number one holding in crypto, and it always will be. But what's going to drive the sort of normies back into this market is going to be the altcoin market, right? The promise of massive gains, the promise of exponential gains, where the normie looks at Bitcoin and doesn't really see exponential gains, though I will disagree with that. And though this cycle has disagreed with that, the normies, what's really going to get them in is just total 3 charts starting to move up. So, as we continue to look forward, guys, everything is going according to plan. Congratulations to the bulls that were staying bullish at 75K, 80K, weren't falling for the tariffs, weren't falling for the narratives. We got Bitcoin coming back up and, getting close to 100K as we speak. And only, like I said, about 12% away from new highs. And I do believe it's only a matter of time and just going to be patience, right? It's not going to be up in a straight line, guys. I do think we're going to get some type of pullback before we probably break into new all-time highs. But I do think it's going to be just a continuation of the trend for Bitcoin up to that mid 100K region. And that's really going to be, obviously, the beginning spark of this total market cap chart starting to move up. And it's also starting to push into new highs, which then gets the total 3 chart in altcoins starting to push into new highs. But it's all a process, right? Process number 1 is seeing global liquidity start to push up to the upside. Process number 2 is seeing our stablecoin dominance chart hit our range highs and break down to the downside, which then causes step number 3, Bitcoin to start to impulse up, right? Once you get Bitcoin back into close to the previous all-time highs, that's when you start to see step number 4, which is the altcoin market start to push into new highs. So we're getting the process. We continue to be patient, right, on our non-Bitcoin holdings, because I do think those are going to run. But we're just obviously continuing to stress that Bitcoin should be your biggest holding, guys. But continuing to be patient with our non-Bitcoin holdings. I think all those coins are going to absolutely run over the next 6 months. And I do still continue to believe, though many did not, and many gave up, that we're about to see the biggest blow off top market cap wise in crypto history. Not percentage wise, but market cap wise, right? From about where we are right now, at the lows was about 2 trillion up to that 10 trillion market cap. And here we are sitting at about 3 trillion. I think we got a ways to go here, and it's going to be a very, very fun end of this year, in my personal opinion. As we continue to look forward to all the things that are happening in the cryptocurrency market. So now that we get all the good stuff out of the way, just to remind everyone who's new to the channel, okay, and to kind of go over some non-chart stuff, what's our invalidation of this thesis? What's our invalidation of this massive blow off top of the total cryptocurrency market? Our invalidation simply is, once again, when do I turn into a bear? And when has it been historically smart to turn into a bear on Bitcoin? Is any weekly closes below the 50 moving average band, aka the 50 simple moving average and the 50 exponential moving average. Any weekly closes below there has historically been the start of the true bear market. And I continue to be a bull as long as Bitcoin holds above there. But I will be the first one to turn a bear if Bitcoin rejects from this region and starts to break back below the 50 moving average bands. At this point, we're talking about the high 70Ks. We should not see Bitcoin get any weekly closes below the high 70Ks at this point, unless you think we're going into some type of longer bear market based on history. Okay, so that's obviously our bear thesis, our bear invalidation. Any 50 moving average band weekly closes below, we flip into a bear. Simple as that. We say we're wrong. We move on to the next one, next cycle. Let's go. All right. Now, I want to stress this, guys. You guys can see Bitcoin pushing up, and I'm very, very confident that we're about to see total market cap start to push up in a big way as well. I continue to stress this, guys. I continue to stress this. The time to buy stuff is when everyone's fearful, right? So down here, through February, March, April, beginning of May was sort of the time to be buying stuff when everyone was super, super fearful. I'm going to continue to stress this. As Bitcoin continues to move up and approach new all-time highs, as altcoins start to run as Bitcoin approaches new all-time highs, because we just talked about early in the video, that's typically when altcoins run, is when Bitcoin gets close to the previous all-time highs. When this does happen, you're going to see the narrative shift. of everyone being super, super fearful, everyone being super, super pessimistic, to everyone saying that this market will never go down again. Watch the sentiment shift. Watch my comment section, which we go to my comment section a month ago. Everyone's doom and gloom. Everyone's calling me an idiot for thinking Bitcoin can go up. Where are all those people now? Probably hiding in a shell, okay? As prices start to come up, watch the sentiment shift to everyone being bullish, to everyone saying this market can't go down again. And I do not want you guys to be fooled. As this market goes up, okay, be prepared to start taking profits. Do not be fooled. Do not be fooled by the propaganda, the same propaganda at the lows, which probably got you to sell. Do not fall for the same propaganda and start buying cryptos as Bitcoin breaks into new highs, as total market cap starts to break into new highs over the next few weeks to months. Do not fall for the propaganda. Sell when others are greedy and buy when others are fearful. The last few months have been for buying. And honestly, altcoins I still think are at some pretty damn good levels, some of them, okay, for accumulating. As prices start to move up, remember, prices moving up is for taking profits. Prices for moving up is not buying, okay? Do not be your Uncle Sam. Do not be your Grandma Lou, all right, who starts buying cryptos on the way up, all right? Remember where you are now. Remember where the market was just a few weeks ago. Total fear, the most fearful most fearful time in the stock market in the history, right? Based on consumer sentiment or the sentiment surveys, okay? Remember where we were just a couple weeks ago. And think about if Bitcoin is to come up into the 100Ks and above, just so everyone will be bullish now, okay? Do not fall for the propaganda. Stay vigilant. And on this channel, we're going to continue to make these updates, and we're going to continue to be ultra bulls down here. But as price moves up, we will be the bears amongst the bulls, right? So for the last few months, we've been the bulls amongst the bears, okay? We've been the bulls against the bears, 100%. But as this price starts to shift up, we will become the bears amongst the bulls. And I want you guys to be on the right side of the market, and you guys to be thinking in that way, that we will be on this channel, while everyone else is talking about ridiculous price targets. And even though I do think we're going to get some ridiculous price targets, we will be the bears amongst the bulls who takes profits while everyone else buys or holds till it's too late. All right. So that's my message to you guys at the end of this video. I think we're about to see absolutely crazy times with the cryptocurrency market, probably the most crazy times that you've ever seen since 2021. But at the end of that becomes the most painful time. And remember, every cryptocurrency pump and every cryptocurrency pump, Bitcoin pump, altcoin pump, always ends in some type of devastation, okay? It's never up only. So remember, though we expect a lot of fun over the next few months, what I'm expecting the end of that is a lot of pain. So remember, we will be the bears amongst the bulls when the time is right. It's been your boy, Jordan Cameron. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure you smack that subscribe button. Let's get it, man. We're pushing 100K, man. The channel's growing massively fast right now. I think you guys are loving the content. If you guys are loving the content, you guys want to see a live stream again soon, make sure you smack the like button before you go as well. It's been your boy, Jordan Cameron. See you guys in the next one. Road to 10 trillion. Let's get it.